Once upon a midnight dreary, while I studied social theory, the basis of positivism, the why and the wherefore, while I sat there quietly reading, suddenly there came a beating and the sound of someone pounding at my chamber door. "A shutter has come loose," I muttered, "and it's banging on my door, only this and nothing more." Back to my theory turning, I read about man's yearning for the common good, prosperity, a rational end to war. And then again I heard a screech as of a giant bird. It sounded like a raven tapping at my door, and I rose up from my chair and walked barefoot across the floor. "'Tis the wind," I muttered, and nothing more. Open here, I flung the shutter when, as smooth as melted butter, in there stepped a stately raven, so elegant and plump, and he entered my library with an attitude so airy. As he sat down in a chair he had pulled up there, kerwhump, quoth the raven, "Donald Trump." At this word, I sat there grinning. In my head, it started spinning as the raven, with his right wing, slapped his slim and feathery rump. In a suit and tie was wrapped, and his front teeth nightly capped, and atop his head a wig, peroxide, swooping in a clump, quoth the raven, "Donald Trump." And I watched this ugly fowl sit and stare at me and scowl, and he hissed at me, "The country's in a very serious slump, and you cannot help agreeing that America is seeing no ordinary being who can lift us from the dump, no ordinary candidate campaigning on the stump except one named Donald Trump." "Prophet," said I, "you speak evil. I would rather a boll weevil should be president than some wealthy, aged grump. And his followers as a group, it seems to me, are rather stupid as they yell and whoop it up for this aging, clueless chump who is simply plainly dumb. He is no Forrest Gump," quoth the raven, "Donald Trump." "Be that word a word of parting, bird or fiend," I shrieked while farting. "Get thee back into the cellar in the dark and dripping sump. That lie that you have spoken, once I thought that you were joking, but the republic would be broken if it hit that big a bump." Then my face broke out in sweat and my heart to wildly pump. "Take thy beak from out my heart and go take a flying jump," quoth the raven, "Donald Trump." I said, "Just let me mention that in July the convention will start to pay attention, and the delegates on the floor will sensibly decide on someone who is qualified, who will unite and not divide, and throw Donald out the door. Into oblivion and decorum be restored, and politics shall be dignified as it was before." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." I said, "Thou ugly raven, trouble me no more. Take thy wretched beak and remove it from my door. Trump only triumphed because the field was crowded and he was entertaining and he bullied the press corps. But by January, trashiness and ignorance will be routed and civil discourse will be back in style," I shouted. Quoth the raven, "I doubt it."